Hey everyone, welcome back to part 6 of the 4840 overhaul. Well, now the fun job begins. You saw me pull out all the sleeves. Now, clean up. So I'm gonna get my scrapers and start cleaning off all the old head gasket junk here on top of the block. I've already got the seals. In fact, I have the John Deere dealer I talked to them, and they've already got the sleeve O-ring seals that go right down there, right down at the bottom. And so my dad's headed up that way to pick that stuff up. But yeah, now the fun job, clean up. Thankfully, there's not a gob of stuff on this part anyway. And cleaning, the way I do it, because I've done them before on my on that Alice Chalmers 7060, and my little Alice Chalmers WD and that kind of stuff. Whenever I'm cleaning these, I always take and come in here and I go from the middle out. That way you're not knocking all that stuff right down your sleeve holes. And just push all out that way. That way it goes right off on the outside. And bye-bye. You don't even see it. Now this right here is mainly just a lot of dirt. The old gasket came off, for the most part, pretty much intact. But, you always get a little bit of leftover stuff wanting to hang on there and that kind of thing. So we'll just go right down around here, clean them all up. Once I'm done with this, I'm actually going to start on the oil pan, get it all cleaned up. But yeah, like I say, take and just go from in to out. That way none of that stuff goes down here in where the sleeve goes. And that way it stays, for the most part, nice and clean. Yeah, about done cleaning on top of this block. Jump around over on the other side now. But that gets all that old gasket material off there. In fact, I may actually take a wire wheel, clean that up even better. But like I say though, it's not really all that bad at all. Just getting that scaly stuff, any little bits of the old head gasket, get her all scraped off there, and you're good to go. Got my wire wheel here. Let's do a little bit more cleaning, and this job will be done. Well, on the block, that is. Okay, a little spot right there. Not bad. Alright, I got the rods all cleaned up. Just took some mineral spirits and a little pump sprayer, sprayed them all down. That washed all the oil out of them, because I'll be putting all new rod bearings in. So that cleaned them up pretty good. Also working here on the oil pan, getting the old gasket off. That's a fun job. Of course, it's been on there since 1982, so it's well seized on. And that stuff peels off hard. So what I'm going to try and do is take a heat gun and see if heating that up any will help it peel off better. But I've got, well, from here down across the one end, then back up to here, I'll scrape down. So we're making headway on it. Okay, let's see if this will do any good. Like I say, I don't know if heating up the old gasket will help soften it, make it let loose a little bit easier. We'll find out. In fact, I may actually have to back the forklift farther back in the shed, get more of a windbreak. We'll see if that will do any good. Well, that might have worked just a smidge, or helped. Still tough though. Well, it did seem to help a little bit, so we'll just keep playing with it. Alrighty, finally got all that old gasket scraped off this thing. That heat gun definitely did help soften that old gasket material up, and so it does helped it to be able to get scraped off there and everything. So now I'm just going to take the air gun, blow all that junk out of the oil pan. Like I said, I took mineral spirits and washed this thing here all out, so that helped get a lot of that oiliness out of it. And so I'll just take the air gun, blow it all out, and this thing here will be good to go. And then after that, I'll be ready to move on to the underside of the block, where this thing butts up against the bottom of the motor. One good thing, from what I've seen, most of the gasket came off with the oil pan, and so hopefully it won't be too bad underneath that block. Well, here we are underneath the block. Hopefully the orientation on the camera works okay, because I've actually got the camera hanging upside down with a magnet. But thankfully there's not a lot of junk. There's a little bit, but it's not real thick. It's a pretty thin film of that gasket material. So it works pretty good getting it cleaned off. I thought about grabbing the heat gun, but for no more what there is, I don't know, I may grab it just to try it and see. Kind of weird how long an engine will sit there and keep dripping oil, even though the oil pan's been off of it now for several days. it's still wanting to drip. You'll get drips wanting to come off the crank and here and there and everywhere. Kind of odd how long it just keeps hanging on there. If I can get my creeper to move, can't, stuck down the gravel. Here's where it makes it nice to have a concrete floor. Okay, let's take and move you back just a little bit more. Come on. All right, just got done getting all that old gasket material cleaned off the bottom of the block. And so, like I say, thankfully it wasn't real thick. And so, as they'll take the scraper and a plastic hammer and keep on tapping across here and get it all scraped off, so we should be good to go to put the new gasket and oil pan back on when we're ready. So, my next project is taking out and replacing all of the sleeve seals. I do have the new seals on hand, so I can go ahead, I can take out old ones and put new ones in. So that's going to be the next project here once I get ready to keep working on this thing here some more. Okay, I'm working here on top. Not too sure how well you can see, but down here at the bottom, let's see if we can get the camera set a little bit better. Let's see if we can do this. But down here at the bottom, you can see my little pointer. You got these seals down here that go in, that seal up at the bottom of the sleeve. And there's actually two of them. You got a bottom one right there. Then you got a metal, well, I'd call it a band. It's actually the separator between the two seals. Then you have the top one, that orange one right there. And so that's what I'm working on right now, on getting replaced. Not too sure how well. I'm trying to hold the camera with one hand and work with the other. I've actually got the camera stuck down inside the block. Okay, there's the top seal. Like I say, I gotta run the camera and the little prick up and down together, that way I can get it out of there. And you have a separator ring that is actually part of the block. And then right here you have another O-ring, or seal if you want to call it that. I'm gonna get the dumb thing picked out of there. And of course the light's practically right in the way. But now that one doesn't want to come out. I noticed on the new seals that I have, the bottom seal is made out of a heavier material. Okay, I may actually have to put the camera down and get both my awls to get that picked out of there. It's just too hard trying to work with one hand. Alright, I had to use two hands, but I got the bottom's O-ring broke loose. Now, let's see if I can do this one-handed and get that dumb thing popped up and out of there. Hopefully you can see halfway decent. Come on. There we go. Okay, finally got that one out. That was kind of like, it was like stuck in the groove. All right, there's the two gaskets, or O-rings, whatever you want to call them. And so the original appears to be, that's either a, it looks like it's either black or it's dark brown, one of the two. Whereas the top one, it's orange. And now the new ones are, let me get one dug out of the bag back here. There they are. Of course, you got your orange one. You got your blue one, which is the bottom. You got this little ring right here, and you actually put that around the sleeve itself. It goes around on the sleeve itself, and let me see here if I can kind of point it out to you. That one, when it's on the sleeve, it butts down against that lip right there where I got my pointer sitting on. And so that way when you push the sleeve in, it sits down against that. And then of course you got your two main ones down below it. But I can't use that one until I actually get the new sleeves on hand. But like I say, I can at least put the new rings into the block. And so I'll get them opened up here and see if I can kind of show you a little bit getting them put back in. One thing I also wanted to mention, these grooves right here that your seals sit into, make sure you clean those out good and get any old motor oil out of that. And the reason for that is with the motor oil, it can actually cause your seals to swell up. And which if I had the new sleeves, I'd put the seals in, then oil them up, drop the sleeve in, done deal. However, I'm not doing that. I'm putting the sleeve in, and I won't, or the seal in, and I won't have the new sleeves for a while yet. Hopefully, I'll be getting them here in about a week, depending on shipping. But and then when I do go to put them together, I do not use motor oil. I actually use you can either use vegetable oil or mineral oil, and that won't let these swell up. But yet it still keeps them oiled up. You can oil up the sleeve also. That way everything goes together good. All right, let's go ahead and see if I can get you set right there so you can look right down inside the block as I'm working. Maybe, maybe not. I can definitely tell a difference between the red or the orange and blue rings. The orange ring is a lot more squishy, and the blue ring is definitely made out of a much heavier rubber. It's a lot more hard. You can't smash it near as easy, or at least between your fingers anyway. So the blue one goes in the bottom. I'm not too sure how well you're going to see that. I can hardly see it myself. Okay, now I got it jumped. Okay, there we go. Got to make sure it goes into the bottom notch. Makes it bet I only get one hand down in there at a time. Let's see if we can kind of double him up and see if he'll kind of hold itself in. Unless I can kind of maybe put one finger through the next jug over and hold up on one side. And okay, got to make sure we get into the bottom groove. Maybe. Still don't want to hold in there just right. Well, that's odd. It keeps wanting to fall out. I may get a little piece of tape and help hold on one side. Okay, I think I finally figured out how to get that dumb thing down in there. What I was doing wrong is I was squeezing it together than trying to spread it around. Instead, you want to try and keep it flared out so it'll go down and kind of sit. If I can get the light to shine down in there maybe. If you can get the sit up on the side, then it'll kind of hold itself out there. And then you can take it down and get it popped into the groove. Okay, yep. Now right there I've got it into the half in the bottom one, half in the top groove. Okay, there it is. Well, you couldn't really see that too easy, but that's got it down into that bottom groove. Now let's get the orange one and put it in. Okay, and here's what I was doing wrong with the blue one. I was trying to put it down like that, and then spread it out. And that's a big no-no. Try and put the whole entire thing down in there, and if you can actually get it to kind of bridge, well, now it feels clear down on top of the crank. But if you can get the bridge clear across that hole, that opening right there, you can then be basically like that. Then you can begin to walk it or work it into the top groove, maybe. This and here, there's a lot more flimsy, so I'm going to have to sit you guys down and use both hands. Just got the orange ring, so I'm just going to drop you right down inside there so you can see it. There you go. Come down that groove just like that. Kind of turn the camera around so you can see it halfway decent, hopefully. There we go. So now I've got all 5 more to do going across here. And of course, like I say, I got this ring right here, but that actually goes onto the sleeve itself. And since I do not have the sleeves, I'll just keep that here in the bag of supplies until I do. And like I've said before, I am actually using John Deere seals because I had that guy tell me that on 2 John Deere engines of these 466 motors, when he used the Reliant sleeve seals, sure enough they end up leaking and actually getting antifreeze into the oil, and he was taking both engines all the way back apart again. And that's he said after he used the John Deere O-rings, no more trouble. And so that's why I went with the John Deere O-rings. So, well, I'm going to get started here on the next one, and I'll keep you updated here as I go. Now I'm over here on number 5, and I just got all the old O-rings popped out. But I was looking here in my John Deere I&T manual. That thing's actually pretty handy. And it said to make sure you clean the base right down in there where the bottom of the sleeve sits down onto that little lip. Said make sure you clean that area real good. And so I've already done the first 4, and so now I've got to make sure I clean number 5 here and number 6. That way you get good sealing when you go push your sleeve in. Alright, hopefully you can see halfway decent down in there. I kind of trying to work with the light and camera that we can watch. But you can see right around that ring, well maybe, there's what's left of the old gasket. And you want to make sure you get all that scraped off. Like I said, I saw that in that manual, and I was doing it anyway, but it said make sure you scrape that down really good. And so I actually went back and double checked numbers 1 through 4. There we go. And then what I'll do when once I can get all that scraped off, I'll even stick a wire brush down in there. If it was big enough, I'd drop the camera down there also, but I can't get the camera and my hand and scraper all in there together. Okay, that's got all the big stuff scraped off. Now, I just want to take an old blue shop towel and just take your thumb and run right around on that ring. Just help clean a lot of that junk out of there and all the old rubber and that kind of stuff. Once you get all that cleaned out of there, then you can see it a whole lot better. Okay, that's got a lot of the loose stuff knocked out of the way. There's going to go on around because it still has antifreeze a little bit, kind of wanting to hang out down there. Okay, yeah, there we go. See if I can get you picked up. There we are. So, all right. Well, I may do just a bit more scraping, but that lip right there looks pretty good, nice and clean. That's what you want. All right, figured I'd bring you back in here on cylinder number 6. Okay, yeah. Hopefully you can kind of see that on camera. You can see that tab that stuck up right there. Now I'm peeling off that. That's part of the old gasket. Thankfully it's just rubber. I am going to take an air gun and blow down through there to take and clean anything out that's laying on the crank, because I can see a little bit of rubber on the crank. But this is the spot that the IT manual said to make sure you have good and clean. So I'm using a, as you've seen, the scraper to clean all that junk out there. Up, smack the camera. Nothing new. Take and clean that little lip off right there. It's all good and clean and dry. Okay, that looks like it should work. Then what I do is I also take and clean out the groove where the O-rings go into as well. Clean them all out. Okay, I gotta go back and forth with one hand on one side, then put your other hand down with your thumb, clean out the opposite side of the circle. Okay, the blue ring goes in the bottom groove, and the orange one goes in the top groove. Okay, it's almost got it in there. Got one more loop right here, gotta get dropped in. Come on, let's go. Alrighty, that's got that one. Now, ready for the orange one. And it goes on top. Trying to work here with the camera and the light both at the edge of the block, along with having my hand stuck down there. Kind of easier said than done. Okay, there's that part. Get this side here in. Uh-oh, the whole thing fell out. Redo. Okay, let's see if we can get that last little bit in without the whole thing falling out. One more chunk. There we go. That's got it. Well, number 6 right there is all done. And that's got all the seals in. Everything all cleaned. So, well, guys, I'm going to call this an end to part 6, because, in fact, I'm actually held up right now on anything more that I can do, because I do not have the head or any of the new parts yet. They're still on order, and so now it'll probably be next week sometime by the time before I can get back to work on this thing. But, well, hey, tell you what, thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully next time I'll have the head, some sleeves, some pistons, and be able to get this thing put back together and going again. So, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.